Cześć! Dla każdego, kto ogląda tę serię albo przez przypadek wpadł na to, wybaczcie, że to jest długi odcinek, aż godzinę, ale przechodząc tą misję grałem dosyć długo i tak edytowałem, żeby pozostawić najważniejsze rzeczy, a jak nie macie czasu obejrzeć od razu, to zróbcie to później, po kawałku, jak wam się podoba. W każdym razie przygoda Henry'ego kontynuuje i nabiera rozpędu, bo tym bardziej, że dwójka się zbliża, w lutym ma być, także mam nadzieję, że uda mi się skończyć do końca roku. Cześć, witam was wszystkich serdecznie, ja jestem Andrusek i zapraszam na 16 odcinek Kingdom Come Deliverance. Dziękuję za każde wsparcie. Wiem, że niewielu to ogląda. Stara gra, mało popularna, chociaż dwójka niedługo wychodzi po nowym roku. Ostatnio przesłuchiwaliśmy jednego z bandytów i byliśmy w wiosce, gdzie była zaraza. Wszystkich chyba się nie udało ocalić, ale to było zadanie poboczne. I po tych informacjach, co mamy, idziemy szukać jakichś przemytników. Nie przemytników, tylko fałszerzy. Idziemy szukać fałszerzy, którzy jakieś monety tworzyli i zasypują nas fałszywymi groszami.
Good God, what a bloody mess.
A, pozbieramy może coś. Aj, ten zamek jest trudny do otworzenia. Rozejrzyjmy się.
Looks like that wagon was loaded with charcoal.
A, okej. To co, napadli i uciekli. Zbadaliśmy rozstaje. Idź po śladzie krwi, okej. No tu mamy jakieś ślady. I węgiel też. No to szukamy, sprawdź.
It looks like I'm on the right track.
Tak.
Charcoal burners. Someone must have seen or heard something.
Jesteśmy w obozie. Nie widać nikogo. Może byli zamieszani. O, jest gościu, a jednak ktoś jest. No zobaczmy. Węglarz.
Jesus Christ be praised. What happened at the crossroads? Huh?
Możemy zrobić to.
Listen, there's corpses lying on the road out there, a ransacked wagon, and a trail that leads right here. Now, you seem to be honest and friendly folk, not marauding cutthroats. So I prefer to believe you don't have anything to do with it. But, if you don't start helping me, I might change my mind.
I don't know nothing, and I haven't seen nothing. If you want to know something about it, just ask Boyar. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Who is this Boria?
Boyar cracks the whip around here. You'll recognize him by his red cap.
Thank you.
Take care now.
Gościu, który ma czerwoną czapkę. No na pewno będzie widoczny. Tylko gdzie tu są ludzie? Może dalej?
Traces of blood.
No właśnie.
And these
Ślady
are the
krwi.
same sacks that were by that wagon.
No właśnie. Tu jest coś podejrzanego. Tu się można włamać. Trudne, ale da radę. O, jest gościu.
Good day to you.
Dzień dobry.
What do you know about the wagon that's been ambushed at the crossroads?
I haven't a clue what you're talking about.
Ha!
Really?
Yes. Is that a problem?
Wygląda na to, że najlepiej będzie jak zrobimy to. Buźka pokazuje, że mam więcej.
Do you have any idea whose wagon it was?
I don't know. and I don't care.
Well, I'll tell you. I'm sure you've heard of the gang that burned down Neuhof
Possibly.
and poisoned the well in Merchoyed. They're the kind of men you don't want to get on the wrong side of.
I didn't get on the wrong side of them, though. Did I? The opposite. Actually, we helped them out. And I didn't even know who they were.
What happened?
A,
Let's just get this straight. We didn't ambush anyone.
And what were you doing at the crossroads then?
We were just passing, and we saw the wagon. So we took the sacks.
Just the sacks? What about the trail of bloodstains leading to the camp?
I was just getting to that. We also found one wounded man. What am I saying, wounded? The fellow was hacked like a martyr in some holy picture. He begged us to hide him away.
So you have him here somewhere? Is he still alive?
The fellow has quite a will to live. I'll give him that.
czyli gościu tam jest.
Where is he?
We've locked him away in a shed. There.
I want to talk to him.
I don't know. He paid us.
Ha,
We're not to let anyone near him.
I don't mean to hurt him.
So be it. Here. Take the key.
Thanks.
okej.
Good luck to you.
No to może nie trzeba będzie go bić. Najwyżej piąchami. Dobra, bo chciałem się już włamywać. A, w sumie mógłbym spróbować włamania. Ale dobra, jest najemnik.
Who are you?
Powiedzmy, że będziemy pomocni.
Never mind now. I've come to help you.
Thank God. I thought I'd breathe my last here. Lucky for me, my guardian angel comes bursting through the door.
Ha,
I'm no angel, so you'll have to answer a few questions before you get my help.
Oh, well. I knew it wouldn't be that easy.
Who ambushed that wagon?
A knight. He's been following us for a while.
And where did he go?
I don't know. I got a beating, and then I passed out.
Who is it you work for? Who did the wagon belong to?
To Menhart. He's some kind of merchant who hired me for protection. But that's all I know.
And where's this Menhart disappeared off to?
No idea. I blacked out after the attack. Only came to my senses once I got here. I don't even know where here is.
Do you know what you were carrying in that wagon?
I never asked Menhart that.
Can I see your wound?
Are you a quack?
Sort of. That's a deep wound to the flank and you're still losing blood. You need to staunch it.
Will you help me?
I can try.
okej, możemy spróbować.
Tell me more about the night.
O, ktoś przyszedł.
Where's the coin?
What? What coin?
I will not repeat the question.
I don't know about any coin. I swear.
Where are
Oh.
those sacks you took from the wagon?
Sacks. They're behind the shed.
That's him. That's got to be that knight.
Cii, cicho, cicho.
Is that all? Did you take anything else?
Ten rycerz przypomina kogoś.
Stop! Stop right there!
Fight? Tak mi się wydaje, że będzie zaraz bitka. Jeszcze muzyczka bitewna. A nie, jednak. Kurde, no dawaj koniu.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gdzie on jest?
Yeah.
Gdzie on jest? Jeszcze nie mogę biec. Kurde, no weź przeskakuj. Gdzie ten rycerz pobiegł?
Damn. Well, I suppose it doesn't matter as long as he goes back to the Sasau Inn.
To chyba tutaj. To chyba jego koń.
I'll be right back with that.
Jest. Ulrich.
Here we are.
I'm happy to see you again, sir.
Likewise. No doubt you have many questions.
I certainly do.
We will talk. Not here, however. The wolves have ears. Let's meet at the pond after sunset. You'll find me waiting by the big willow tree.
O, nie wiem, nie ufam mu.
No. You'll say what you have to say right here.
By allen Heiling, you are a brave one. But if you want to know anything, come to the pond after sunset.
No dobra. Pond. To gdzie to jest? Dobra, jesteśmy nad stawem. Musimy tylko poczekać. A może to on już? Nie mów, że będzie chciał się bić. Ulrich von Jundingen.
What do you have to tell me?
I brought you here because I did not want to cause an alarm at the tavern. I'm very sorry, but you made a mistake coming here alone. And it will be your last.
Ha! Wiedziałem.
Wait.
You wish to make your peace with God? Very well. But be quick.
Nie bardzo mamy statystyki, żeby to powiedzieć.
I'm here on the orders of Sir Radzig Kobyla. You might want to consider that before you do anything hasty.
Kobila, you say? If that is true, it could mean trouble. However, I cannot take the risk of sparing you.
Ha, czyli muszę go załatwić.
It seems the best solution. There are no witnesses.
Ha!
You really think I'm that stupid? If I'm not back by morning, my companions will tell the bailiff, and they'll report to Ratai.
Perhaps. Then the sooner I end this, the better.
Teraz zobaczmy, czy to zadziała.
So here I am.
I brought you here because I did not want to cause an alarm at the tavern.
Tak,
I'm
oczywiście.
very sorry, but you made a mistake coming.
Okej, to teraz mamy 5 więcej statystyki, czyli możemy na przykład powiedzieć mu to.
I just want to know why you ambushed that wagon.
You make no sense. Did your accomplices not tell you when they sent you after me?
Accomplices? What are you talking about? I'm here on behalf of Sir Radzig Kobyla.
Radzig Kobyla? I do not understand.
I was looking for the counterfeit coins, and I still am. I'd heard those men were transporting them in that wagon.
When I saw you with the charcoal burners, I assumed it was they who sent you.
No, definitely not.
Then we have a common aim.
A,
I
okej.
have also been pursuing the counterfeiters for some time. My name is Ulrich. It is true our meeting has not begun well, but if it is the truth that you are sent by Kobyla, then we can assist each other.
What do you mean?
I found out many things, but there are still questions I cannot answer. And the last man who knew anything is now dead.
What man was that?
Mainhard, the merchant from Passau. Listen, I will explain everything to you, but first, I need you to do something for me.
Oh, really?
You will introduce me to a certain person, and I will tell you everything I've learned.
Who do you mean?
Master Tobias Pfeiffer. If you truly serve Sir Radzig, then you must know him.
I think I know who you mean. What do you want him for?
I have here a written confession which tells how those forgeries are made, but I do not understand such technical matters. Master Pfeiffer, however...
We'll definitely be able to make sense of it. And you'll give it to me, just like that?
It seems I have little choice. This is the last lead I have. In the meantime, I will return to Sassau and see what I might learn there.
Świetnie, bo jakbym miał mniejszą retorykę, to musiałbym z nim walczyć i no byłoby kiepsko. Okej, kim ty w ogóle
What's
jesteś?
your name, anyway?
I told you, I am Ulrich.
Just
Von
all-
Jundingen.
It is enough.
Because you look like a knight. They seldom have just one name.
It is true, I have a horse, armor, a sword, and a shield. But there are many ways to acquire such things these days. As I am sure you know.
So you're not a knight?
I'm a trustworthy soldier in the service of a nobleman. That is all you need to know.
All right then, Ulrich. Let's leave it at that. Tell me what you know about the false coins.
Do you know Passau?
No, what is it?
A city in Bavaria. Passau is a city of trade. All the currencies in Christendom change hands there.
I see. And that would include Prague groschen?
Some months ago, counterfeit groschen were discovered to be circulating there. They are made from copper plated with silver. The Passau alderman began to investigate and learned that a family of money changers was involved. They were bringing the forged coins in from Bohemia and sending back real ones. My liege lord is allied to the Passau alderman, so they requested that he deal with the matter.
And so he sent you?
Yes, he needed a man that he could trust absolutely.
Who are you working for?
I understand why you wish to know, but this does not mean I am at liberty to tell you.
That sounds a bit fishy.
It is simply that my master does not wish to be revealed. And if we are to help one another, that is how it must remain.
Okej.
And what about that wagon? What happened there exactly?
I followed Menhard from Passau. I had reason to suspect a connection with Sassau.
What happened on that track?
I ambushed them. I took down two, but that bastard Menhard cut the horses loose and rode away.
What next?
While I was chasing Menhard, those charcoal burners came and stole what they could. Before I could catch him, his horse threw him and he broke his neck.
So we won't get anything out of him.
Unfortunately not.
Why did you let them get here before attacking?
I wanted to discover where they hand over their coins, which I failed to do. Besides, Maynard had an armed escort, and they kept two busy roads and lodged at inns throughout their journey, until he came to this god-forsaken track. I cannot guess why he came here, but it was the perfect opportunity to strike.
So they were transporting false groschen on that wagon?
Yes. On their way here, they brought real coin. Groschen, forints, francs, and the like.
Ha, forinty.
But now, the sacks were full of counterfeits.
Forinty to węgierskie monety.
What do you mean about the connection with Sassau?
The matter was investigated in Passau, and the executioner extracted information from those who were arrested. They told him that the coins were made in a monastery.
What, in the monastery itself?
I cannot say. I know only what the Passau scribe wrote down in his reports of the interrogations.
No to ciekawe. To pewnie księżulkowie zamieszani.
Shouldn't you go with me to see Fayfar?
No. I must remain in Sassau. I have some loose ends that must be tied.
Very well. I'll go and see Master Fayfar.
Godspeed. I will wait in Sassau at the Wagoner's Inn.
Tak, musimy wracać do Ratajów. Także lecimy. Dobra, chodźmy do tego Fayfara. O, może to on. Jest, Fayfar.
God be with you, lad. What can I do for you?
Fałszywe grosze?
Master Fayfar, I need to speak with you. I found out something about the counterfeit coin.
Did you really? Do tell.
Close to Rovna, I came across a wagon that was transporting the false coins. Unfortunately, I came too late. The carter and his men were dead.
Damn and blast. Do you know who did it?
Yes, a certain knight turned up there. Turned out he was also after the forgers.
Well, that is indeed unexpected. Tell me, what did he say?
His name is Ulrich. He looked like a knight, but he refused to show his master's colours.
Ulrich, you say? Could be anyone. Can you describe him?
An older man with a moustache. But for all his grey hairs, he seemed pretty tough to me.
Doesn't match anyone I've heard of. But then we don't even know if Ulrich is his real name.
I asked him who his liege was, but he refused to tell me.
We live in such strange times. In days past, knights would vie with each other to see who could extol their liege's name the loudest. And today, they take assumed names, hide their emblems, and sneak around the land like thieves.
I got the impression he was hiding his identity because his master's at odds with Sir Radzig.
That may well be. As a staunch supporter of the king, Sir Radzig has many enemies.
He told me that the fake money was being taken to Passau in exchange for gold coins. Then that real money was being brought back to the Bohemian lands.
That would explain why those fakes bear the Passau countermark.
His master's allied with the Passau alderman, and they told him to sort it all out.
I wonder who could be behind it all.
He gave me these documents to show you. He seemed to think they prove he was telling the truth. They're the records of the interrogations in Passau, and some other things he said you'd understand better than him.
Let me see. We, the aldermen of the city of Passau, interrogation held this day, put to pen by the questor. The place of origin is a monastery in the land of Bohemia. Which certainly confirms my suspicion that something underhand is going on in Sasso. Coin assay report. Copper core coated with amalgam. But this is interesting. Here's an outline description of how the forgeries are made. I'll have to study it more closely. We command Herr Ulrich to investigate and let no man stand in his way. This looks like the original safe conduct. It has the seal of the Passau alderman, but they certainly didn't pen this.
How do you know?
I recognize the hand. It's a Clement of Kaplitz, the high scribe of the Rosenbergs.
The Rosenbergs? Who's that?
A rich and powerful family in South Bohemia. Burgrave Henry III is a great rival of our King Wenceslas.
So what does all this mean?
Well, it certainly explains why your knight is so mysterious. Anyway, we should be careful. And we shall begin our investigation. The documents show they use silver amalgam for coating copper fakes. That's a lead we can follow.
What?
Silver amalgam. It's produced from quicksilver and silver.
Well, that doesn't sound like something just anyone can get hold of.
You're quite right. You will go to Sasso at once. Look around the forges in the city. Someone must be working copper for them. I, meanwhile, will take counsel with Sir Radzig and then follow after you.
Where shall we meet?
At the inn on Sasso Market Square.
To teraz musimy się dowiedzieć, gdzie rtęć biorą fałszerze i pogadać z Ulrykiem.
So, what did Master Pfeiffer have to say?
I consulted him and we definitely have a starting point.
Tell me more.
Master Pfeiffer found out they need copper sheets for the core of the coins and quicksilver for the the other part?
I see. They have such materials at the monastery.
Exactly. That's why I'm interested in the local forges.
Yes, that is good. Yesterday, I heard people from the craftsman's yard by the monastery complaining. They said they could not sleep at night because the blacksmith works all the time till dawn.
I see. That's certainly worth asking about. Have you heard anything else?
You said they use quicksilver. There is a painter lodging here who is painting the church in Ujits. I heard him complain also. He said that he went to the monastery for quicksilver and it was all gone.
Well, that's something to follow up as well. Thanks.
Okej, mamy tropy. Musimy porozmawiać z mistrzem fresków. Mistrz fresków, tutaj, dobra.
My respects to you, sir.
Ale dobra, tyłem gadasz.
I hear you've had some problems with the supply of quicksilver.
Problems? I should say so. For the third time this month, they've told me there's none. There's no quicksilver to be had, they said.
And who exactly are you talking about? Who's holding back the goods on you?
The monastery overseer, or his assistant, more like.
So what did the overseer have to say to you?
Nothing. Apparently he doesn't deal in such trifles. Leaves it all to his assistant, the pompous git.
To teraz musimy iść do szafarza w takim razie.
Surely such valuable material can't just vanish. Where can it be?
One beer for me.
I wish I knew. Every time I ask for the red
A co
tank,
to za gość?
there's a different reason why they haven't got the quicksilver to mix it. Once they said the goods never arrived, and another time that the wagon carrying it was ambushed. Then it went astray somewhere.
And you think they're lying?
Jesus, what do I know? But it seems pretty strange to me. 3 times in a row the same thing goes missing. There's bad luck and then there's something else.
What do you need quicksilver for?
I don't. They do. To mix up the red pigment for me. I'm painting the church in Ujits. Can you imagine how stupid those biblical scenes look without red?
Not really.
Then be glad you can't. My eyes hurt just to imagine it.
On potrzebuje do
That's all I need
malowania.
to know for now.
Ah. But wouldn't you care to buy something before you go? Or play a game? I really need some money. I've been waiting here a while and my stay's getting expensive.
Why not?
O, mapa skarbów, żywot w karczmie, co to? O alkoholizmie, okej. Dobra. Idziemy do tego szafarza. A, on jest gdzieś tutaj, ale jak tam się dostać? Może tutaj po schodach? Tu nie. O, może tu. Kościelny szafarz.
God be with you.
I'm looking for some quicksilver. Would you have any on hand?
Talk to my assistant. He deals with such trivial matters.
Fine, thank you.
Asystent.
May the Lord watch over you.
Asystent. Okej, no dobra, asystent.
God be with you.
Do you have any quicksilver in stock?
Who's asking?
Nobody. I'm just asking.
Then I don't have any.
That sounds almost as if you don't want to sell it to me.
It's not that I don't want to. It's that I can't.
Bollocks. Tell me this instant what you've done with the goods.
Nothing. And I'd advise you to calm down. We're on hallowed ground.
You're
Ha.
a fine one to speak of hallowed ground. A lying thief in monastic robes. What next? A whore dressed as a nun?
This is blasphemy.
I'll give you blasphemy. I'm sure you know what our Lord did to the money changers in the temple.
What do you mean? You're not going to hurt me, are you?
Tell me what's going on here and I won't have a reason to.
Jesus. But I didn't know anything about any counterfeiting.
For your sake, I hope that's true. Now tell me what's been going on.
I swear, I wouldn't normally do anything like that.
Get to the point.
They came for me at noon, directly to the office. The overseer was somewhere on his rounds. Some night it was, without a crest, armed. He called himself Sir Jezek, and he had a lackey with him called Rapota, a scruffy fellow with a yellow cape. Always whistling he was. They told me they wanted all the quicksilver we order for the monastery. Of course, I told him that wouldn't be possible.
And then what? Did they threaten you?
Not at first. They tried to bribe me, and when I refused, they started threatening.
What did they threaten you with?
They said they know people in the monastery, that they'd have me thrown out and beaten for stealing.
And you had been stealing? I mean, before then?
You know how it is. I work my fingers to the bone and they pay me a pittance.
So they knew about you?
Yes, they knew my name, everything.
How did you hand it over to them?
I take it up the hill behind the monastery here. There's a big tree there with a small chapel underneath. Sometimes Rapota is there waiting for me. If not, I leave it there.
Czyli będziemy mieli konfrontację.
Very well. Thank you.
May the Lord watch over you.
W końcu ich dorwiemy. Pogadajmy z mistrzem Fejtarem.
God bless you. What troubles you?
Wiele rzeczy.
You look different, Master.
So as to fit in. I don't want it known that I'm in town.
Why?
I don't want to alarm our prey. Gossip spreads quickly, and if those scoundrels learn we're onto them, they'll flee.
That does make sense.
So what have you found out so far?
I found out where they get their quicksilver from. You were right, it was the monastery.
It was the only logical explanation.
It changed hands on the hill behind the monastery.
Have you been there to have a look around?
I have, but I didn't find anything interesting.
And have you found out who's behind it?
Someone called Rapota.
Not much, but it's a start. At least it's not a common name. Listen, Henry, I had another thought on the way here. Those counterfeiters have to have a punch die to make the fake coins.
Yes, of course.
That's sophisticated work. There's a man I know who works at the monastery yard, Master Engraver Jerome of Silesia.
You don't suppose that he's...
No, not that, God forbid. I know him well. He'd never do anything like that. But he runs an engraving workshop, so he might have heard something.
Very well, I'll ask him.
Okay.
Ask with tact. I don't want him getting offended. And I prefer you not to mention me at all.
I'll try to think of something. That's all.
No, świetnie.
Master Fayfar, Sir Radzig sent me to you.
Did he? He must think highly of you.
I do the best I can.
That's good, because this is damned important. Silver's our most valuable asset.
How can I help with these, evil forebodings of yours?
Sir Radzig may make light of it, but a large quantity of silver has been discovered hereabouts, and no one is guarding the Skullets mines, the most likely source.
You really think someone could be stealing the silver from the mines? I would have thought that would be quite a job, wouldn't it?
It certainly would. Which is why I'd like you to go and check out not only the mine gallery, but also the yard with the smelter and the waterworks. See what kind of state it's all in, and if anything looks suspicious.
Is that the yard next to the Skalitz mill?
That's the one. I don't know what state it's in now. There used to be a stock of charcoal and smelted silver there.
A silver store? Could there really be any left?
I doubt it. I'd be surprised if it was still standing at all.
What about these waterworks? What's there?
A stamping mill and washing troughs. They're on the bend in the river below the castle. You can't miss them. There are big tanks and equipment all around.
You said mine gallery. Just one?
Boy, there's such a maze there that it would take a week to crawl through the place. There's only one gallery I'm interested in, at the foot of the hill by a small fish pond.
Why just that one?
Because I was expecting to find a scene there. All the indications pointed to it. So if anyone is stealing silver, it'll be right there.
Should I be expecting trouble then?
Well, I definitely wouldn't treat the job like a visit to church on Sunday. You could find yourself facing a pack of hungry dogs trailing the army, or a band of brigands.
I see. Well, you and Sir Radzig can rely on me. That's all clear. I'll get going.
May the Lord watch over you.
No to ładnie. Parę zadań doszło. A, jest i pan Hieronim. Więc pogadajmy z nim.
God be with you.
Szczęść Boże.
How goes the work, master?
Getting there, getting there. You need something, my boy?
No tak.
What are you doing here, anyway?
You're in an engraver's shop, my boy. We're engraving, of course.
Yeah, but engraving what? And what's it used for?
Oh, we engrave wood and stone as well as metal. Here in the monastery, it's mostly about decoration.
You've got quite a large workshop, master. You don't do all the work alone, surely?
I'm usually here with my apprentice Florian. Of course, by simple observation, you'll note that this is not currently the case, and I'm here alone, which means that either I'm a liar or something out of the ordinary has occurred.
I see. I think. So what's happened to Florian?
He shares the fate of the pharaohs for today. The fifth scourge of Egypt did smite him, the plague, or so his message advised me.
Jesus Christ, the plague?
Do remain calm. I'm quite certain the plague from which Florian is suffering wasn't a judgment from on high, or if it was a judgment on excessive drinking. I'm told such an ailment can be of truly biblical proportions.
Dobra. Kac biblijnych rozmiarów.
What's he like, your apprentice, Florian?
I'm afraid that his exuberant youth has taken its toll. He's been acting strangely of late. I fear he has delusions of persecution.
I don't really know what you mean, at all.
Recently, for example, he told me that someone was following him. And the very next day he bought a padlock from the blacksmith and locked up his chest, as though I would ever sneak into it. In any case, why the interest? Are you looking for him?
Something like that.
May I ask why?
I have a message for him.
A message? Who would be interested in that wastrel? Other than his furious and deeply disappointed master, of course. About your question, you'll find him at home, no doubt feverishly dying. He sleeps in the baker's cellar.
Ah, thank you. Does Florian have any enemies?
A man such as he certainly owes money at every turn, and the parents of local girls are undoubtedly displeased with his attempts to propagate. However, most recently it was that fury from the baths who accosted him in quite a spectacular rage.
A woman from the baths? What did she do?
The harpy nearly tore all Florian's hair out. I don't frequently feel sorry for my ne'er-do-well apprentice, but on that occasion I made an exception.
Do you have any idea why she did it?
She was screaming about some girl, some flighty bath-maid, Esther. I would say that Florian had felt the joys of spring and acted accordingly, although one would have thought they'd be used to that sort of thing at the bathhouse.
Thank you. I'll leave you to your work.
Good luck to you.
Czyli mamy dwie rzeczy do zbadania. Dom Floriana i łaziebne. Dobra, pójdziemy do łaziebnej najpierw. Tam jest akurat po drodze.
I hear you're at odds with apprentice...
At odds? I'll give you at odds. It's that sod's fault they took my Esther. Poor girl. I shudder to think what's become of her.
What exactly happened?
This man came in wanting a bath, and Esther with it. She doesn't normally offer that kind of service, but I didn't see the harm, so I sent her in to him. And suddenly I hear screams. So I run out, and I see the bastard pulling her out of the tent and shoving her into a boat.
Dobry gościu.
I'm sorry they took her, but what exactly has it got to do with Florian?
They shouted at me to tell Florian that when he wises up, he'll get the girl back.
I assume that Florian knows this, Esther.
You know village girls. They don't get much of a choice. Every other knave has a turnip for a brain, and if they don't, they're relatives. And then some young dandy turns up who writes her little poems. What's the poor girl to do? And this is how it ends. She should have stuck with the turnip heads.
Where can I find this Florian? I'd like to ask him a few questions.
He works in the engraver's workshop at the monastery craftsman's.
What did the bailiff make of it?
Don't even get me started on that. He's another fine... I won't...
Motherfucker?
I told him everything, but he says he won't do nothing about it.
How's that then?
He wouldn't tell me to my face, of course. But people here don't think much of us. There's some as reckon my Esther deserves what she got. Poor girl.
It sounds like you were close to Esther.
I loved her like my very own. She came to me as an orphan, like a wolf child she was. I raised her and taught her and gave her a job, and now she's gone. Who knows if she's even alive?
Jest Florian. Coś tam kreśli. Zobaczmy.
Good health to you.
Dobrego zdrowia.
You look quite sprightly for an invalid.
What? Who the hell are you?
My name's Henry, and I'm making inquiries for Sir Radzig Kobyla.
And what do you want from me?
Straight to the point then. All right. I've been investigating counterfeit money, and the trail led me straight to you. Does the name Rapiter mean anything to you?
I don't know. Maybe?
Don't bother. I know you know him. You make the punch dies for the counterfeiters. How do you hand them over? Do you know where their workshop is?
I can't say anything. I'll deny everything and you've got nothing on me. No evidence, just accusations.
Ha! Ale się przyznałeś.
You just incriminated yourself.
One man's word against another.
And do you really think that's going to help you? Your word means nothing. You've got...
I don't give a fuck about money.
So what then?
Chodzi o
Those
dziewczynę.
bastards kidnapped Esther. If I don't cooperate, they'll kill her.
Who is Esther?
My girl, of course. That scum took her right out of the bathhouse.
I'm sorry about that.
Me too. Listen, I'll tell you everything, I promise. But only if I know that Esther's safe.
What, so I'm to go searching for her in the woods?
I know where they're keeping her, but nobody will help me. And what can puny little me do faced with those strapping great villains?
Look, Florian, I'm sorry for what you're going through, honestly. But I'm not the only one who's after these people. As soon as they get wind of something, they'll be out of here and Esther will be gone with them.
If Rapiter finds I've told you anything, they'll kill her.
Not if I catch Rapiter first. He's here in town, isn't he?
Yes, he is. They found me in the tavern one evening, caught me when I went to the shit pile. They started to badger me about working for them.
They?
Yes, Rapiter. And a knight they called Sir Ježek.
And then what?
They explained what they wanted from me and I told them to sod off.
I'm guessing that didn't go down too well.
It wasn't all that bad. They just threw me on the dung heap and left. I thought it was just a drunkard's joke. But then they took Esther.
Why didn't you tell anyone?
At first I took it for a bad joke. And then, when they snatched Esther, there was nothing to be done.
How did you hand over the punch die to them?
Rapiter waited for me behind the church. I didn't want to give it to them without seeing Esther first.
And did they let you?
Yes, although I don't really know why. They took me to a derelict farm in the Skalitz Hills. My poor Esther, they'd scared her half to death.
So at least you know she's alive.
Who knows? It was a while ago. And they never let her go, even after I did what they wanted. They said they'd be needing more.
More punch dies?
They wear out over time, and they have to be replaced regularly.
Where will I find Rapiter?
He's usually wherever I am.
What does that mean?
He watches me, everywhere I go. And when I'm at home, he sits on the bench in the square, watching my house.
So he's there now?
Hard to say. Sometimes I see him in the tavern on the green, buying supplies.
All right. At least I know where to start. And you go to work tomorrow, you hear?
Why?
Because we have to lure him out. And besides, your master will surely be glad to see you.
I have my doubts.
Dobra, pójdę zanim ucieknę.
Suppose I better go. I'd hate the bastard to get away.
Go. I hope you get revenge.
May the Lord watch over you.
Okej. To teraz musimy jakiegoś trajkota rozwalić, tylko gdzie ten trajkota? Albo jego będę śledził po prostu? O, jakiś gościu się pojawił. Jest, trajkota. No dobra, będziemy go bić.
Are you Rapiter by any chance?
Pardon me? Do we know each other?
No, but I'm hoping to change that.
Ha!
Well, I don't have much time right now. I'd best be off.
It'll only take a moment.
Oops.
All right then. What do you want?
I know you buy quicksilver for those counterfeiters.
It seems there's no point making excuses.
None. Now tell me where their workshop is.
Of course. That will be the best solution.
So?
Let's leave it for another time.
Zatrzymaj trajkotę, no świetnie, tylko że on będzie teraz napierdzielał i nie wiem czy go dogonię, kurde. Pałką po łbie, no zobaczmy. Dawaj, jak zomo, kurde, średniowieczne. A może po prostu go pogonię do miejsca, gdzie miałem je zaprowadzić? Może tak. Haha, kurde, złaź z konia. Wow. No już.
So, are you ready to talk?
I will. Just don't hurt me, please. What do you want from me?
Tell me where the workshop is. Don't worry. Your master won't be punishing you for betraying him. You're both gonna have too many other problems.
It's in the Skullet's mines.
That doesn't narrow it down very much.
On the eastern side of Skullet's Hill, there's an abandoned mine gallery. Well, it used to be abandoned. Now there's a small camp in front of it, and the workshop is inside.
Who is your lord?
Sir Jezek of Ronoff. That's what he calls himself, although Ronoff Castle's long gone.
What happened to it?
Ronoff used to belong to Vincent, Count Lichtenberg. After his death, it fell to Margrave Jobst, and he had it pulled down. He knew full well that Vincent's vassals would resist him.
Why? Everyone knows that when a lord dies without issue, the king can confer his estate on whoever he pleases.
But Vincent had descendants. Ronoff only fell to the Margrave because he declared them all illegitimate. All because Vincent had refused to fight for him against Sir Prokop. Sir Jezek led a revolt of the vassals, but Jobst rounded them all up. Only Sir Jezek got away. Since then, he's become the scourge of the domain.
So who's Sir Jezek working for? Don't tell me he just took it into his head one day to start forging coins.
That's not for me to know. Sir Jezek was on speaking terms with various lordships.
Such as?
We were often guests at the monastery, but I slept in the hayloft, so I heard nothing.
And apart from that?
In the camp, you'd occasionally see a Hungarian nobleman, but I don't know what he was doing there, or who he is.
To już trochę pomaga.
Who are you, anyway?
They call me Rapota. I used to be the executioner's henchman in Brno.
And how did you come to be serving Sir Jezek?
I helped him escape from prison. If I was going to serve anyone, better Sir Jezek than the executioner.
So you saw being a brigand's henchman as a step up in the world?
I thought if things changed and he stopped marauding, he might get run off back and take me into his service.
Well, after this little escapade, you can forget about that. You'll be lucky if you don't end up swinging on the gallows.
It's all the same anyway now. I've betrayed him.
No dobra.
I've heard enough.
Can I ask you something?
Yes?
I don't want to hang. It's a horrible death. I prefer you just kill me here and now.
Ah, you're not worth tainting my sword with your blood. Now get lost before I change my mind.
No, spadaj.
Gone weak at the knees, have you?
I got to where I am without anyone else. Doesn't seem like I need any help.
You look capable. I could use a lad like you.
It's an interesting offer, but I'll turn it down if you don't mind.
By the way, who betrayed me?
That hardly matters, does it?
Do you think I won't get a chance to settle up with them? But I hope you don't imagine I'm just going to follow meekly after you like a lamb to the slaughter.
W sumie tylko gadka najlepiej.
And where would you want to go?
Anywhere. Anywhere else is preferable to Kobila's dungeon.
Really? You can't go to Moravia. The Margrave himself is after you there. And in Bohemia, the kings may change, but the coin remains, my friend.
What do you mean?
Whoever gets to be king, they can't afford to have someone forging money.
Do you think I'm doing this on my own?
No, but when the kingdom's back in order, and it'll be time to shut this little operation down, they'll be only too happy to let you take the blame. Counterfeiting money gets no clemency.
It doesn't matter. Kobila will string me up from the highest tree in any case.
Maybe, but you're very shrewd and very persuasive, and you might know a few things that are worth more than your life. It's up to you. Either you give yourself up and try to make a deal with Sir Radzig, or you'll be on the run for the rest of your life.
A deal with Sir Radzig? It's true they say he's a canny man.
If you cooperate, you stand a chance.
Oh, very well then. May as well climb straight into the maw of the beast.
So let's go. Master Fayfar will be itching to ask you a few questions.
O, świetnie. Naprawdę trochę się namęczyłem. Ta gra naprawdę wymaga sporo, zwłaszcza jak się nie chce walczyć mieczem.
Thank you, Master Fayfar. It wasn't easy, I can tell you.
I'll take some men and have a good look around there.
And what should I do?
You should get some rest and go to Rate. In the meantime, Sir Radzig will have this wretch questioned. Maybe he'll get something useful out of him.
All right. I'll see you in Ratai then.
No to teraz tylko wrócimy szybko do pana Radzika i zobaczymy, co tam powie.
What's that? There's the man. Good work, Henry.
Thank you, sir.
I tell you to take a well-earned rest, but unfortunately I need one more thing from you.
Whatever you command.
Ježek refuses to talk to us. The stubborn bastard's asking to see you.
Me?
Indeed. Normally I'd send for Captain Burner to beat it out of him, but then I told myself that if he's so keen to speak to you...
I'll try to get something out of him. Where is he?
He's locked up in the tower. Bernard will give you the key.
Very well, sir.
Okej, panie Jaszko.
Well, finally, I've had quite a wait.
Why do you want to talk to me, of all people?
Radzig will keep me alive only as long as it takes to get everything I know out of me. You, on the other hand, gave me certain assurances. So I want to be sure that the secrets my life depends on end up in good hands.
No dobra.
Come on, out with it. Tell me everything you know and then we'll see.
Very well, ask me anything you want. I won't be obstructive.
What I want to know most of all is who's behind it. Who are you making those forgeries for?
Do you think I couldn't have handled it all myself?
I'm not trying to insult you. It's just not a job one man could do alone.
All right, the way it began was I was short of coin, as usual. So I let those crimps in Sasau recruit me.
Recruit you into what?
I didn't inquire too much. In this business, you don't ask too many questions. But when they found out I wasn't just anybody, they put me in charge of the counterfeiting. A foreigner by the name of Eric gave me instructions. But for sure, he isn't the chief. And there's someone highly placed at the monastery who's mixed up in it too. But I don't know who.
No tak, kapłani zawsze coś ukrywają.
This Eric, you reckon he's not the one in charge?
He puts on airs, but he's just a naive young pup. And he's always going on about his lord, though he never mentioned him by name.
Where can I find this Eric? You must have had some meeting place.
He used to come to the workshop unannounced. And after what's happened, I doubt he'll be showing his face there again.
How did you come to hear of all this business?
I met some old friends in Colleen a few months ago, and they said they were heading for Sasau, that armed men were being recruited, and they'll hire anyone.
Old friends? Who were they?
Just a couple of brigands. We used to ambush the Margrave's messengers in Moravia together.
Nice friends you keep.
I was in dispute with the Margrave. A man in my position finds himself mixed up with all sorts.
And then what?
Rapota and I had been living off stale crusts for a month, so I wasn't going to turn down the chance of work, honest or otherwise. We rode to Sasau and met with the recruiters. It didn't take long to realize I was a nobleman fallen on hard times, not some common peasant.
Can you get to the point?
Well, they introduced me to this Eric, and he told me what was needed. They set up the workshop, got the men, the supplies, everything.
Crimps?
Naganiacze.
This Eric is recruiting armed men in Sasau.
Well, it seems so. I was giving the recruiters some of the coins to do it. The fake ones, of course.
Where can I find the recruiting gang?
That's tricky. It was my friends who led me to them. We met with them in the woods next to Sasau. It's about who you know, as always.
You said you gave them money. Where was that?
They'd ride to the mine gallery to see me. I don't suppose you'd find them there now.
If you say so.
This highly placed person at the monastery, what can you tell me about him?
I've no idea who he is, only that he's no small fry. After all, he handles the exchange of the forgeries in Passau.
I see. Is there anything else at all you can tell me about him?
No, he was supposed to supply me with materials too, but he backed out. Eric said he probably got cold feet.
To pewnie będziemy musieli pójść do klasztoru.
That'll do me for the moment.
Will you put in a word for me with Sir Radzig? I'll swear allegiance to him if he'll have me. I'm sick of being a renegade.
I can try, but I can't promise you anything.
O, pewnie.
So what have you learned?
All sorts of things.
There's some foreigner called Eric behind the counterfeiting ring, and someone highly placed at the monastery.
The monastery? Really?
That's what Jezek claimed.
So it's worse than I thought. If this is true, we'll have to proceed with the utmost caution.
Why? Can't we just go to the monastery to investigate?
No. If the church is truly involved, I have no authority.
So what will you do?
I'll have to think about it. It won't be an easy nut to crack. I'll have to consult with Hanush. And what of this Eric? Who is he?
I don't know, but he's recruiting armed men in Sasau and forming an army.
Damn. So it looks like Pribyslavitz wasn't the end of it.
It most certainly wasn't, sir. And what's more, Sir Ježek is convinced this Eric is only a go-between, and there's someone bigger behind him.
You should return to Sasau and take a closer look at those recruiters. If they're going to attack, we must find out sooner than last time.
It might not be as straightforward as that. Sir Ježek didn't know them and has no idea how to find them.
You'll have to manage somehow, my lad. Don't tell me there's an armed force amassing here and nobody knows anything. Go to Sasau and try to find them.
I'm not sure where to start, sir.
Czemu spadek reputacji?
Alehouses and inns, or at the Rathaus. Someone must have heard something. These things can't be entirely kept in the dark. Whatever you do, be careful, Henry. And best not mention my name. It would attract unwelcome attention. What we want is for the crimps to take you for just another village lad they can lure into their gang.
All right, sir. I'll try to blend in as best I can.
I know I'm asking a lot of you, but I know of no one else who could help as much as you can now.
Sir, there's one more thing. Sir Ježek went with me without resistance, because I promised him he could come to an agreement with you.
My boy, my boy. You make promises in my name? That could turn out very badly for both of us. But, if it can prevent bloodshed, why the hell not? We may well come to some arrangement after all, but I can't say yet what will become of him. You'd better run along.
Okej.
As you command, sir.
Nie wszystko jest różowo, ale udało nam się skończyć questa. Następny jest, jeśli nie siłą pięści. Zajmiemy się już tym w nowym odcinku. Dziękuję za oglądanie. Tutaj był Andrusek. I jak zwykle, do pogrania. Cześć!